Picture this. A single woman, barely 20, stands in the heart of the endless Mongolian steppes. Around her, a circle of the world's toughest warriors, grizzled nomads who've crushed armies under hoof and arrow. They circle like wolves, eyes hungry not just for victory, but for her hand in marriage, and her fortune. But to claim it, they have to pin her down in a wrestling match. One by one, they charge. One by one, they fly through the air, crashing into the dust. By dawn, she's not just won her freedom. She's claimed 10,000 horses. Their horses. Their pride. Their everything. This isn't a Hollywood blockbuster. This is Khutulun, the Mongol warrior princess who broke every rule of her time. The woman who fought beside kings, toppled empires, and stared down death without flinching. But who was she really? And why has history tried to bury her under the shadows of Genghis Khan? Stick around, because today, we're unearthing the badass queen the world forgot. If you're ready to ride into legend, smash that like button now. Let's charge. Welcome back to Past Historical Events, where we dig up the unsung heroes who shaped our world with blood, sweat, and sheer unbreakable will. Born around 1260 in the fractured heart of the Mongol Empire, Khutulun wasn't just any princess. She was the daughter of Kaidu Khan, a rebel prince and first cousin once removed to the mighty Kublai Khan himself. While Kublai lounged in his silk palaces in Beijing, building the Yuan dynasty, Kaidu was out here in the wilds of Central Asia. He rallied the old-school nomads for one last roar against the empire's softening. And right at his side, his favorite weapon, his daughter. But here's the hook that keeps me up at night. Khutulun didn't just survive in a man's world. She dominated it. Trained from childhood to outshoot, outride, and outfight her brothers, she became a living legend. Marco Polo called her so fair, so strong, and so brave that she made knights weep. Rashid al-Din, the Persian historian, said no man in her father's Ulus, that's Mongol for domain, could match her in feats of arms. Yet for centuries, she's been a footnote. Why? Because history loves its conquerors, but it whispers about the women who made them possible. Today, we're giving her the epic she deserves. We'll ride through her childhood battles, her infamous wrestling ring, the blood-soaked campaigns that shook Asia, her heartbreaking loves, and her undying legacy that's popping up in everything from Netflix shows to racehorses. Grab your imaginary stirrups, because this story's got more twists than a steppe tornado. And hey, if you're new here, hit subscribe and that bell. We drop these deep dives every week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Let's start at the beginning, the cradle of conquerors. Imagine growing up in 13th century Mongolia. No schools, no cities, just endless golden grass, herds of shaggy yaks, and the constant thunder of hooves. Your family's not farmers. You're nomads, descendants of the great Genghis Khan himself. Every day is survival. Hunt or be hunted, ride or be ridden over. For girls, it was supposed to be about weaving, milking mares, and waiting for a husband to claim you like a prize mare. But not for Khutulun. Her dad, Kaidu, saw something ferocious in her from day one. Kaidu wasn't your average Khan. He controlled a sprawling khanate from the Altai Mountains to the edges of Persia, a rebel holdout against Kublai's civilized empire. Kaidu believed in the old ways, merit over birthright, strength over silk. And his daughter, she was his spark, trained alongside her 14 brothers. Yeah, 14. Khutulun learned the Mongol arts. Archery on galloping horseback, where missing meant dinners off the menu. Wrestling, the brutal hand-to-hand that decided everything from marriages to thrones. And the lasso, for snaring enemies faster than a falcon dives. By her teens, she wasn't just keeping up. She was lapping them. Chronicles say she could out-wrestle any man in the camp, her grip like iron forged in the Gobi's heat. But let's pause for a second. Picture that. A teenage girl, maybe 5 feet 6 inches with the wiry muscle of a steppe rider, staring down burly warriors twice her age. What drove her? Was it Kaidu's favoritism? He doted on her, calling her his moonlight, Aegiarn in Mongol, meaning shining like the moon. Or was it the fire in her veins, that same Genghis blood that birthed an empire? We don't have diaries from Khutulun. Women like her didn't get the luxury of scribes. But from what we do have, like the Persian tales and Marco Polo scribbles, she wasn't playing warrior for show. This was real. By her late teens, she was riding into skirmishes, bow singing, arrows finding throats before the dust settled. Her brothers? They weren't jealous. They were in awe. Together, the Kaidu clan was unstoppable. And here's where it gets juicy. Kaidu's wars weren't just raids. This was the Mongol Civil War, brother against cousin, empire splintering like dry bone. Kublai wanted to centralize, turn nomads into taxpayers. Kaidu. He wanted freedom, the wind in your hair, the bow in your fist. Khutulun chose sides early, her father's. But could a girl like her really tip the scales? Spoiler. Oh, hell yes. Hang tight. We're about to hit her first big legend. Alright, let's talk about the story that made Khutulun immortal, the Suitor's Gauntlet. You're 18, beautiful as a desert rose, heir to a Khan's fortune. Suitors swarm like flies on honey. Princes from the Chagatai Khanate, warriors from the Ilkhanate, even whispers of Silk Road merchants with gold heavier than their egos. But Khutulun? She's not having it. Want my hand? She declares. Beat me in the ring. Lose. Your horse is mine. Boom. Instant legend. This wasn't some dainty courtly game. Mongol wrestling, bok, is raw, no holds barred, with no weight classes or gloves. The crowd roars for blood, not bouquets. And Khutulun? Undefeated. Marco Polo, who reportedly heard this tale around campfires in 1275, wrote, "She would wrestle any man who dared, and none could master her." Rashid al-Din piled on, "She took from them up to 10,000 horses." 10,000 horses. That's not a stable. That's a herd that could trample a village. Each loss stripped a suitor's pride and mobility. In nomad life, horses are wealth, status, survival. Imagine the scene. Dawn on the steppe, felt yurts circling a trampled grass ring. Khutulun steps out, deal tunic tied high, hair in warrior braids, eyes like flint. First suitor, a burly Uyghur prince, chest like a barrel. He lunges, she sidesteps, hooks his leg, slams him down. Thud. Crowd erupts. Horse led away. Next, a Kazakh champion, arms like tree trunks. He grabs her belt. Big mistake. She spins, uses his momentum, flips him skyward. Crash. Another horse. By sunset, the field's a graveyard of egos, and Khutulun's richer than ever. But was this real, or steppe folklore amped up? Historians debate. Marco was a storyteller, after all, prone to tall tales. Yet Persian records back it. She amassed a fortune in stallions, a walking dowry that scared off the weak. And get this, it wasn't just about marriage. In Mongol culture, wrestling proved worth. Khutulun was saying, "I'm no prize. I'm the prize giver." It flipped the script on patriarchy. Women could choose, could conquer. But questions linger. Did she ever lose? Did one suitor slip through? And what did Kaidu think, watching his daughter humble half of Asia? He loved it. It made her untouchable, his secret weapon. Fast forward, this tale didn't die with the steppes. It morphed into Turandot, the proud princess in Persian stories who quizzes suitors to death. Then Puccini's opera, where riddles replace grapples. Even Disney eyed it for Mulan vibes. But none capture the grit like the original. A woman owning her power, one throw at a time. Engage with me here. If you were a suitor, would you step into that ring? Drop a comment, hell yeah, or run for the hills. Your stories fuel these scripts. Now, let's leave the dust behind and charge into battle. Because Khutulun's ring was just warm-up. From wrestler to warlord, that's Khutulun's glow-up. By her 20s, she's not sidelined in the yurt. She's frontlines, bow in one hand, lasso in the other. Kaidu's campaigns were chaos. Raids on Kublai's borders, alliances with the Chagatai Khanate flipping like steppe winds, clashes with Persian Ilkhans hungry for turf. And Khutulun? His right hand. Chronicles paint her scattering foes, like birds before a storm. Take the 1280s border wars in the Darim Basin. Kaidu's army, 100,000 horse archers strong, hammers Kublai's garrisons there. Khutulun rides with her brothers, Orus among them, picking off scouts, leading charges. One tale, she's cut off, surrounded by Yuan lancers. What does she do? Loops her lasso over the captain's neck, yanks him from the saddle, mounts his horse, and rides through the gap like a ghost. Her men rally, turn ambush to rout. Horses captured, hundreds. Enemies? Fertilizer for the grass. But it wasn't glory alone. Wars ugly, villages burned, families shattered. Khutulun saw it, the cost of her father's dream. Did it harden her? Or fuel her fire? Kaidu trusted her counsel. Meetings in the grand yurt, maps unrolled by lamplight, she'd point. Strike here, feint there. Her voice carried weight because her arrows did first. Peak drama, 1290s, Kaidu versus Dua of Shagatai. Dua's a snake. Ally one day, betrayer the next. They clash near the Oxus River, waters red with blood. Khutulun's unit holds a ford, arrows raining like hail. She wrestles a standard-bearer hand-to-hand, claims the banner, breaks their line. Victory, but Pyrrhic. Kaidu's wounded, empire cracking. Here's the mind-bender. What if she led? Kaidu floated it name her heir. Mongol law. Women could rule, in theory. Genghis's daughters did. But tradition balked. A Khan must sire sons. Khutulun? She bows out. Let Orus take the throne. I'll command the armies. Humble. Strategic. Both. She knew power's real seat. The saddle, not the throne. Ever wonder how history changes with one, what if? If Khutulun ruled, would the Mongols hold longer? Empire wider. Comment your hot take. I read 'em all. Now, as the wars rage, love enters the fray. But Mongol style, it's no fairy tale. Behind every legend, a human heart. Khutulun's wrestling kept suitors at bay, but love found her anyway. Not some arranged match, passion, raw as a summer storm. Sources split. One says she wed Shurgill, a Choros warrior, handsome as a hawk, loyal as the wind. They fought side by side, two storms entwined. Sons. Two, fierce like their mother. But tragedy strikes like an arrow unseen. Enemies, Dua's spies. Maybe, drowned Shurgill and the boys in a river ambush. Khutulun? Shattered but steel. She channels grief to fury, leading raids that avenge tenfold. Rashid al-Din whispers another alleged romance. She loved Ghazan, Ilkhanid Sultan, a poet warrior. Secret letters across borders? Stolen nights in border camps? It's rumor at best, adding spice to the saga. In her world, love was luxury, survival first. What we know, she never remarried publicly. That horse herd? Her dowry, her shield. Kaidu dies in 1301, fever claiming him mid-campaign. Khutulun and Orus guard his tomb, a secret mound in the Altai, warded by loyal ghosts. Rivals circle, Chapar, Dua's kin. She fights them off, bows singing one last time. By 1306, she's gone. Cause unknown, maybe a battle wound, maybe the steppes' harsh toll. Age 46, legacy etched in whispers. But feel that ache. Khutulun wasn't invincible. She lost family, loves, a shot at the stars. Yet she rose every time. That's the real epic, not unbroken wins, but unbroken will. Khutulun fades with the empire. Mongols fracture, Silk Road silks, histories gather dust. But she doesn't die. She evolves. Persian scribes turn her into Turandot, proud princess, suitor's doom. 1700s, French tales amp the drama. 1924, Puccini operas it. Riddles for grapples. But that fire? Pure Khutulun, modern Mongolia. She's national treasure. Novels like Kotol Tsagan paint her vivid. 2021 film Princess Khutulun, or The Warrior Princess Abroad, stars her charging screens. In Netflix's Marco Polo, 2014, Claudia Kim portrays Khutulun, fierce and flawless. Even horses. A thoroughbred named Khutulun raced to $450,000 wins, 2011 to 2019. Symbolism? Galloping her spirit forward. Why now? In our world of glass ceilings, she's reminder. Women led before hashtags. Break rules, claim horses, or whatever your horses are. Goals, dreams, power. Khutulun says, take em. We've ridden far, from dust rings to dynasties. But one question burns. In a world of Khans, why her story? Because she proves legends aren't born, they're wrestled into being. So, there she is. Khutulun, the moonlight that outshone stars. Warrior, wrestler, whisperer of winds. Her life. A thunderclap in history's storm. Brief, brilliant, unforgettable. Thanks for riding with me today. If this fired you up, drop a like. It fuels the fire. But don't stop here. Comment below. Who's your unsung hero? A Khutulun in your life? Or what wrestling match are you facing? I reply to every one. Let's build this tribe. Subscribe now for more epic unearthings. Next week, we dive into the Amazon women who made Greek myths blush. Hit that bell. Don't miss the charge. Share this with a friend who needs a boost. Spread the legend. Signing off from the steps of history. Go claim your horses. See you in the next battle.